What's up, guys? It's Nick True, and today I want to talk to you about one simple word that if you use, you're never going to stick to your budget. I've completely stopped using this word a few months back, and it's made a major impact in my spending and my finances. So that's what we're going to talk about. Whatever you do, do not use this one simple word. Alright, so picture this. You just got home from a long day at work. You thought you were doing well, and you were running around like crazy getting a lot done, but then your boss made some sort of snide comment about how you could have been more prepared for that meeting. You think to yourself, well, you probably could have been more prepared if he'd have let you know more than 5 minutes in advance. Either way, now you're at home, it's the weekend, time for you to kick back and relax. You throw on some Netflix, you start mindlessly scrolling, when all of a sudden, you get a text from your buddy. He says the guys are going out for drinks tonight and you should totally come. Man, I really wish I could, you think to yourself, but you've already spent way too much money for this month. You just can't. You can't do it. Well, you think it, but you don't actually mean it. 2 minutes later, you're thinking to yourself, well, today really was pretty long and my boss really was a jerk. I really ought to just go out and enjoy myself, and you know, it's really not that big a deal. I'll make it up next month. So you quit thinking about the budget and you walk out the door. Does this kind of thing sound familiar to you? Now, you might be thinking that the word that I'm going to tell you that you need to stop using is yes. Because if you quit saying yes to doing stuff, then you'll save money. And that's not the case at all. You'll be happy to know that I think that's totally fine. The one single word that I want you to stop using is can't. It's not yes, it's not no, it's just can't. And here's why. A few months back, I read this awesome article by a guy named James Clear, who talked about the connection between the words we use and then the actions or the underlying mindset around those words. There was a really cool research study that was done that connected the words that we use to the likelihood of actually saying no to some sort of action. Here's how the study worked. There was 120 students and they split them up into two different groups. And then they presented each of these groups with bad habits or other things, and they wanted them to resist the temptation to do those things. They told one group, when you're resisting this temptation, we want you to say, no, I can't. And then they told the other group, when you're resisting the temptation, we want you to say, no, I don't. For example, if they were presenting the can't group with the option of eating ice cream, they were supposed to say, no, that's okay, but I can't eat ice cream. Whereas the don't group would say, no, that's okay, I don't eat ice cream. Now, they repeated this over and over again with a whole bunch of different habits and choices. And then eventually, they asked the students a set of kind of unrelated questions. When the students were done, they would walk up to the front of the class, hand their papers in, and then leave. Now, here was the key thing. As the students were leaving the study, and the study was completely over, they were given the choice of a really healthy chewy bar or an unhealthy candy bar as kind of a thank you for participating in our study. The students who said can't chose that unhealthy candy bar 61% of the time, whereas the students who said don't chose the candy bar only 36% of the time. They were much more likely to choose the healthy option. Now, you might be thinking, nah, that's just a fluke. What if the people who said can't just liked candy bars better in general? Or what if the people who said don't just happen to be people who maybe are healthier in general? Fortunately, this wasn't where the research ended. Like you, those same researchers had a little bit of doubt over the short-term, conclusions that they could draw. What they did is they set up a health and wellness seminar, and they catered it to women who were working. They had 30 women show up to this seminar where they were going to talk about fitness and kind of health goals, and they divided them up into 3 groups of 10. They asked each of these women to envision what their long-term health and wellness goals were, and then they set them up with a plan to actually do that with a workout every single day. Now, here's where things got interesting. They instructed each of the 3 different groups different ways to combat the temptation to not work out. The first group was the control group. They weren't giving any sort of specific strategy to resist temptation for when it came up and they wanted to quit or they felt like not doing the workout. They were just told, do the workout, stick to your goals. Now, the second group, they were told to implement the can't strategy. So whenever they felt like, I really just don't want to do this workout, tell yourself, I can't miss workouts. The third group implemented the don't strategy. And so whenever they felt like they really didn't want to do a workout or they wanted to quit, they were supposed to tell themselves, I don't miss workouts, and then do the workout. All of the women reported their results for the next 10 days, and here's what happened. Group 1, the women who didn't have any sort of strategy for not quitting, only 3 out of 10 of them had actually worked out every single day and stuck to it by the end of the 10 days. Group 2, the can't people, they were the worst off with only 1 person who had actually stuck to every single workout. And group 3, that don't group, a massive 8 out of 10 of them had actually stuck to every single workout and hitting their goals. The conclusion was that words and what you tell yourself and what you tell other people have a massive impact on what you actually do. And when I first read this article, I thought, this just seems totally crazy. How in the world can one simple word have that big of an impact on your decision? But the more I thought about it, the more I read the article, I started to understand exactly what James Clear was saying. See, the word can't is limited. It's used to describe something that you would like to do, but for some reason you're not allowed to do that because of some sort of external factor. For instance, maybe a 5-year-old really wants ice cream, but he can't have some because his mom won't let him. Or maybe you want to take next week off work, but you can't because your boss won't let you. Now, don't, on the other hand, is an entirely different word altogether. It's a decision. I don't cheat on Hannah because I love her and it's wrong. You don't steal from your company because you think it's immoral. An Olympic athlete doesn't stay up till 3 a.m. the night before a big event because they want to perform at their highest level. No one is stopping us from doing those kinds of things. It's just decisions that we make ourselves based on our own core beliefs. Let me put it another way. When you say you can't, you're implying it's something that you really would like to do, but for some reason it's out of your control and you can't do it. But when you say don't, you're putting your foot down. You're stating something core about yourself and who you are. You're saying, I'm the type of person who doesn't do X, Y, or Z. If I say, no, I can't cheat on my wife, then I'm implying that I might want to cheat on my wife, but for some sort of reason, maybe I'm scared she'll find out, I'm not going to. However, when I say, no, I don't cheat on my wife, I'm stating a core belief about myself, about who I am as a human, about who I am as a husband. I'm the type of man who does not cheat on his wife. All right, but now you're probably wondering, but what does this have to do with finance? And my answer would be everything. Now, in the article by James Clear, he really focused his can't versus do when it came to working out or getting healthy or getting fit. But the same exact concept could be applied to budgeting. After I read this article, I really started to think about how can I look at my budget as not as a restriction, not as something that limits me in my ability to spend money on something, and instead I want to look at it as a way that this is me making a conscious decision about the things I will and will not do. Just having this little shift in mindset has had a major impact on the way that I think about my spending and how I can actually stick to my budget now. Whenever I see something that I really want to buy, instead of thinking, no, I can't have that because it's not in the budget, I think to myself, no, I made that budget with all of these things in mind, thinking this is what I want to spend money on, this is what I don't want to spend money on. And if it doesn't fit in the budget, then that means that I don't want that. I chose the budget that I made for a reason, either to pay off debt or to save for retirement or to save for a long-term vacation. And it's okay because I'm sticking to the long-term plan, which is what I actually want. I want to be the type of person who doesn't bust his budget. I want to be the type of person who saves money because I think it's important. I want to be the type of person who says no so that I can do the long-term really awesome thing. So I say no to the short-term kind of cool thing. What kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be the type of person who has their financial life together, or do you want to be the type of person who feels restricted by what they can and can't do? When you're thinking about your purchases and you're looking at how much money you have, I really want to encourage you to stop thinking about I can't do this because of X. Instead, think about I don't make decisions that screw over my short-term plan, so I'm not going to do that. I'm struggling to stay on budget just like you are, and I'm trying to stay on budget better by changing the words that I use around it. Will you try and change yours too? All right, that's it, guys. If you like this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos like it. And remember, I can teach you how to change your words around money, but I can't make you do it yourself. The choice is yours. I'll see y'all next time.